Hello, this is Mark Satterfield, and welcome to the Velvet Rope Playbook. Tonight's chapter, The Psychology of Trust and Authority. Let's face it, we're all a little skeptical. Whether it's choosing a new restaurant, hiring a financial advisor, or committing to a fitness coach, there's always a moment of doubt. Will this work for me? Is this the right choice? Expertise swoops in and quiets that doubt. But how does it work, psychologically speaking? Think about the last time you had a medical question. Did you ask your neighbor or did you Google a doctor? Chances are you looked for someone with credentials, someone who could prove they knew what they were talking about. That's authority in action. Authority is one of the 6 principles of persuasion. And it's a simple concept. We're wired to trust those who appear to have knowledge, experience, or status in a specific area. This isn't just about facts. It's about perception. A person who wears a lab coat and speaks confidently about health feels more trustworthy than someone mumbling the same advice in a t-shirt. For service businesses, authority is built through credentials, results, and reputation. If you're a business coach, showing that you've helped other companies succeed signals that you're not just making promises, you're delivering results. And here's the kicker. Once you've established authority, people stop questioning. They trust you to guide them. So you want to know the secret behind making affluent clients work with you? Successfully marketing to the affluent isn't just about being exclusive. It's about how you tell your story. The right messaging makes wealthy clients see you as the only choice. And that's exactly what I teach in the Affluent Marketing Blueprint. Inside, you'll discover how to craft a brand narrative so compelling, affluent clients feel privileged just to work with you. You can get a free copy of my #1 Amazon best-selling book at getwealthyclients.com. That's getwealthyclients.com. Imagine you're choosing between 2 restaurants. One has a line out the door and the other is empty. Which one do you pick? Most of us would go for the busy restaurant. Why? Because other people's behavior validates our decisions. That's social proof. Social proof is another psychological shortcut we rely on to make choices. In the service industry, social proof can take the form of testimonials, client success stories, or even the size of your following. If someone sees that hundreds of people have benefited from your program, they're more likely to believe you can help them too. Here's another layer. Expertise creates emotional safety. When people hire an expert, they're not just buying a service, they're buying peace of mind. They want to know they're in good hands, that the risk of failure is minimal. This is especially true in high-stakes industries like finance, health, or legal services. Your expertise isn't just a selling point. It's a comfort blanket for your clients. Now, let's shift gears. When you think of expertise, what comes to mind? For many people, it's a person, a face, a voice, a personality. But that's not the only way expertise is presented. In fact, there's a big difference between building a business brand and a personal brand, and understanding this distinction can change the way you position yourself in the market. Business brands are about systems, processes, and teams. Think of companies like Deloitte, McKinsey, or even Starbucks. When you interact with these brands, you're not looking for a specific purpose or person. You're looking for a consistent experience. That authority comes from their reputation as a whole, not from any one individual. For service businesses, this approach works well for scalability. If you're running a law firm or a marketing agency, you might prioritize building a business brand so clients trust the organization, not just you. But here's the drawback. Business brands can feel impersonal. Clients may not feel a strong emotional connection because the brand lacks a human face. Now let's talk about personal brands. A personal brand puts the individual front and center. Think of Oprah or David Ramsey. These people are their brands. When clients work with them, they're not buying into a system, they're buying into the person, and that changes everything. So let's talk more about personal brands and why they're the most powerful tool in your arsenal for creating deep, lasting connections with your audience. Unlike a corporate brand, which often hides behind logos, slogans, and polished campaigns, a personal brand puts the individual front and center. People don't just buy what you offer, they buy you. Now, thinking about the individuals we spoke of before, what do they all have in common? Their audiences trust them as individuals. They're not faceless entities selling a generic service. They're real people with real stories, values, and charisma. Clients don't just consume their content. They feel personally connected to them. This shift in focus from selling a product to building a relationship changes everything. At the core of a personal brand is that human connection. People are naturally drawn to other people. They want to know the face behind the expertise, the story behind the success, and the values driving the message. This is particularly true in service industries where trust and relatability are paramount. In industries like coaching, consulting, or financial planning, clients aren't just buying services, they're buying peace of mind. They need to trust you, not just as a professional, but as a person. That's why your personal brand is so important. When you put yourself out there, your story, your personality, and your values, you create a foundation of trust that no corporate campaign can replicate. This is Mark Satterfield. Thanks for listening to this chapter of the Velvet Rope Playbook. If you're enjoying this podcast and want to get better at attracting more affluent clients, head to getwealthyclients.com where you can request a free copy of my #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Affluent Marketing Blueprint. That's getwealthyclients.com. Thanks again for listening. I'll be back at you soon with another chapter in the Velvet Rope Playbook. Bye for now.